Hello and welcome to Serial at Midnight, the official YouTube channel of serialatmidnight.com. My name is Heath, and I'm glad you're here because this is the latest 100-page giant from Walmart. This is another one of those DC Comics Walmart exclusives, 100-page giants. It's the Swamp Thing Halloween Horror Special. And as soon as I found out that this existed via a commenter on YouTube, I had to have it. I had to check it out. So it's got stories, old stories featuring all the characters at the top, Zatanna, Batman. But the most important thing that I was excited about is that it has an all-new Swamp Thing story. Swamp Thing and Halloween just seem to go together, do they not? But, oh, we'll talk. So this is not going to be a very long video. I don't want to spoil anything for you. These are the stories. It's an all-new Swamp Thing story. It's 12 pages. There's an Enchantress Blue Devil story, Zatanna, Superman. The thing that works against most of these stories is that they're so short. They're over before you know it. The Zatanna story is, I think it's 4 pages because there's an ad in there too. And then the Superman story is 6 pages. You can't tell a decent story in 4 or 6 pages. So they almost feel like placeholders. And the history of these comics, here's the fine print down here. This first appeared DC Universe Infinite Halloween Special #1, DCU Halloween Special 1, The Brave and the Bold #32, Batman 237, that's one of your classic issues right there, and House of Secrets 92. That's going to be the origin of Swamp Thing. But by and large, these stories kind of disappointing, especially like this is the new. I don't even know if I could spoil this for you, but this is our new Swamp Thing story, and as you can see, it is. Do they have the creator info on the? Okay, creator info is not there. Creator info is going to be right here. Brian Azzarello wrote this, and Greg Capullo, it was the penciler, and the pencils are fantastic. I really do dig the pencils. It's a great Halloween time story. Honestly, this reminds me of one of the anthology stories from the Trick or Treat movie that everybody loves. But the script kind of bothers me because it's so... Maybe there's something I'm missing out on here, but there's a lot of spaces like trick or treat. Trick or treat, give me something good to eat, or else I'll throw you down. And it honestly, it's like that the entire script. There's a lot of unnecessary spacing. But look how awesome Swamp Thing looks. He looks fantastic. He looks magnificent. He comes out of the water, and he's got the alligator. You have the Swamp Thing. He's wrestling the albino alligator. He's like, come on, come at me. You know, see what you can do. Come on, do it. I don't know where that came from. But I will not spoil the rest of that story for you, but it felt weird. It ended weird. It had weird pacing, and, so I didn't love it. And then the Blue Devil story, again, I didn't love it. And then this story was written by Paul Dini and, art by Dustin Nguyen. Is that how we say that? And it's got, Zatanna in it. I don't like the art in this story. And this is another one. This is the Zatanna story. It is over before you even get started, and we're on to something else. So let's just cut ahead a little bit. There's a cool kind of an Elseworlds sort of tale. It's not necessarily Elseworlds, but it's basically the Legend of Sleepy Hollow with Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow, as Ichabod Crane. That's cool. That works for me, especially if you think of it as like an Elseworld. So I really actually do like that one. That's the winner of the entire book, if you ask me. We've got house ads for more Swamp Thing. If you want to buy Swamp Thing based on the story that you read with weird pacing, here's more books from Alan Moore that you can buy. But there's a weird Aquaman story here with Etrigan, with the demon Etrigan. It's okay. But then the Batman story from, the classic Batman story, I was really taken aback by this because art is fantastic. I will say Denny O'Neil is the writer. Let's do the credits. So Neil Adams did the art and Dick Giordano, and then the story is by Denny O'Neil, who is, like one of the legendary one of the legendary Batman creators. From an idea by Bernie Wrightson, with an assist from Harlan Ellison. So slight pedigree there. Those guys have done some things. I think this is kind of cool. This is obviously a DC book, but if you look, we've got Halloween costumes. There's Captain America. There's Havoc from the X-Men. And it's like all throughout here. There's some Marvel characters. And I'm not going to spoil, I will not show you the end of the story. But there's weird things in here that seem super out of character. Like Batman is like sassing Robin and calling him, here's one, there's like Thor and Spider-Man. And do we know who this guy is? I feel like that's the guy from House of Mystery or House of Secrets, but it might be a creator. I'm not actually sure. But there's a weird line in here where Batman basically tells Robin pretty much what he thinks about him. He calls him, yeah, here we go. Don't be stupid, kid. Sure, the Nazis booby-trapped Schloss, but they had no reason to murder the man dressed as me. He just called Robin a stupid kid. WTH? What the heck? So, again, we don't want to spoil anything at the end of that story, but then we go into the Swamp Thing origin story, or the origin of Swamp Thing, which doesn't really feel like an origin story to me. But it's okay. So, you guys, you have to make your own mind up about some of this stuff. Swamp Thing obviously looks very cool here. He's an iconic character. But if I'm being honest about the Swamp Thing Halloween Horror Special, I did not like it. I liked one of the stories. Out of all of these stories, one of them really works for me. The Swamp Thing, the new Swamp Thing story, half works. The art's good, but the script work, it just lets me down. And then that's really it. The Batman story felt very strange. Maybe, I don't want to be too hard on it, so maybe I was just not feeling it. There's always the possibility of that, you just weren't feeling it. But I feel like I have to be honest with you guys, and I don't regret picking it up, but I will probably never read this again. Probably not. You want something like this to be classic and be like, oh man, it's got some great stories and there's some great creepy DC stories. But they really didn't do a lot for me. I felt like a lot of them wasted the characters. So, I don't know, that's kind of a discouraging note, but, hey, maybe this thing will sell. This is another one of those experiments from DC by putting their books in Walmarts. The thing is, though, that when I find these in the Walmarts, there's always a ton of them, and I never see anybody near them. Nobody's looking at them. Nobody's thumbing through them. So I would love to know how these are selling, if they're appealing to people on people who are not comic book fans. Yeah, so that's that. Kind of a somber note, but hey, it's a somber season, right? It's Halloween. We could just do some ASMR for the rest of this if you guys want to. So, monsters, mayhem, and trick-or-treat madness. Midnight offerings in the Black Bayou. The thing about Swamp Thing is that he's a very interesting character. He's very tortured, and is this where have we sunk to this? Is this who we are now? Guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. Have you read the Swamp Thing Halloween Horror Giants numero uno? And if you have, what do you think about it? Did you like it more than I did? Did you like it less than I did? Are we copacetic? Are we about on the same page? I wish I liked it more, but I did want to talk about it because it's cool that it exists. But I mean, the cover alone, that's pretty cool cover. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys so much, and I will catch you later.